Good afternoon, Michael. How you doing today, man?
Good. How are you?
Doing excellent. I'm doing so good. A lot of good things coming up. Did you know that?
Yes, I did.
Our very special guest today is an old friend I've known since high school. She is an amazing actress and an incredible Reiki practitioner and teacher. She is not Toboggan. You'll figure out why that's funny here in the podcast. No, seriously, I love Rachael. I've known her for a while. Her name is Rachael Ferrera, and she's got a play coming up called the MCCORMICK Durham, Volume 1, A Post-Racial America here in LA, and she's doing an incredible Reiki group session August 8th. We'll have all the information on our Instagram and Facebook for people to check that out. This was probably one of my funnest podcasts I've ever done to date. I mean, I've known Rachael for such a long time, and it was just incredible. And for those of you listening on Adobe Radio, remember that you can download the complete episode, because it usually goes over an hour, on our iTunes and podcasts, which is available, if you're listening to this live on Adobe Radio. It comes up Thursday at midnight. Basically Friday morning, it's ready for you on iTunes podcasts and YouTube. So make sure you subscribe to us there to get all the extra goodies. I think that's basically it. Should we just give it up?
Let's give it up.
Let's give it up for Rachael Ferrera. Rachael.
Hello.
I feel pretty.
Oh.
I feel pretty and witty and jaunty. That's the lyrics, right?
Yep, those are the exact lyrics. That's what was written.
Would you have imagined when we were doing West Side Story in high school that we'd be here?
Absolutely
Living
not.
the dream in LA?
Yes.
In a room with Michael?
Yes.
Recording? Talking our life? Our struggles? And we're going to cry on this podcast.
Whoa, okay.
That's my goal.
Great. I'm excited to cry.
I'm going to bring up past wounds.
What? What?
I do this with all the guests. You're not special.
Oh my goodness. It kind of does blow my mind that we are here.
Yeah. The journey is real.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little bit of a trip thinking about how we even got here. And I think I was having this conversation with somebody yesterday. Like, if I would have known all, like, the dangers and pitfalls of my journey to become a professional actor, probably wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Do you think you would have taken the same path if you would have known of only the hardships?
Of only the hardships?
Yeah.
With none of the reward?
You would know, like, their rewards, but I won't tell you what the rewards are. I'm just going to tell you the hardships.
Gosh, well, probably not if it was... That's interesting. Probably not if it was only the hardships.
Right.
But I don't know, actually. You know what? I think my true answer is that I would think... because I feel like I did hear that it would be hard. I did know that there might be some reward as well.
Right.
But I feel like, especially at that time, like when I was a teenager, 16, 17, 18, people would tell me that things were hard and I just didn't believe them. Like I was like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe for you.
Right.
was kind of my thought process a lot of the time, and not in like a mean or demeaning way, just kind of like, well, yeah, but I've heard that a lot of things are hard, and then they weren't. So for me, I think I could be the one that it's easy for. Like that might have been my mindset. I'm not sure, but
I think that's in most things too. Until you experience them, then you can really understand and appreciate them.
Yeah.
Because when somebody tells you, like, hey, this is going to be difficult, or hey, this is going to be competitive, you're usually like, okay, I understand. No, there's like literally tens of thousands of people gunning for that.
Right.
Yeah, I get it. No, you don't.
Yeah.
Until you're there and you're like, oh, okay, I didn't get the first one. Or I didn't get the next one. Okay, third one, fourth one. If you're lucky to get those opportunities.
Right.
And then when they stop coming in, you're like, oh, okay, this is what it's like. Yeah, it's like kind of being in a desert.
Yeah.
You ever been in a desert?
Not like I've driven through a desert. How
Okay.
about that? I've driven through a desert.
It's not exactly the same experience, but it's part of it. I've been literally where like I take some ATVs and we go into the desert in Dubai.
Wow.
And then literally all around you, all you see is sand, and you're like, oh, I can die here.
Yeah.
That's when it's like, oh, that's why I like nature so much.
Yeah.
There's that edge to it where it's like, you're not immortal and you can die at any time.
Yeah, you don't know what's gonna happen. You're
Yeah.
not in any sort of safe. Whoa, what? Yes.
No, just people are too soft.
Okay. Talk about it, Wesam.
No, just we live in such a like civilized society.
Yeah,
People are too comfortable. We have AC.
we do.
I abuse it.
I'm very grateful for it.
I am too. And I abuse it. I run that sucker. So I want it to be like 65 degrees in my home when I sleep. Yeah.
I'm not like that.
No, you got to be warm.
Ish.
Yeah.
I don't have to be warm. I just can't be cold. I can't be too cold.
I like it cold. I like to have a big cover. I like the weight underneath me. I like to cover my eyes when I sleep and just a little peephole like that.
So you can breathe.
So I can breathe. And then I'm just like, oh, I'm cozy. I just keep saying that to myself as I go to bed. Sometimes to help myself sleep, I imagine myself in The Office, the TV show, and I'm ghost hunting with Dwight and Michael in the office while it's asleep. And I've actually had like a couple dreams where I've imagined that because I've thought about it so much, and I don't know why. It just helps me sleep. Or like the whole cast, not the cast, but like the characters, were all like they have to spend the night in the office. I wish there was a ghost hunting episode. Damn it!
Should have made that.
Should have made that. Who's the
That
creator
would've been
again?
good.
Not Ricky Gervais, but
Greg Daniels.
Okay. Greg, whenever you reboot it, you got to have a ghost hunting episode.
You can be on it. You have to be.
I mean, yes. If you could play any role in The Office, which character would you play?
In The Office?
Yeah.
Ooh, on The Office. That's great because I've been watching that show lately.
Yeah. I'm just going to adjust your mic while you're thinking about this.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you for adjusting
Yeah,
my mic.
there you go.
You know the first person that came to my mind
Who?
was Mindy Kaling's character.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know. I just think she's so bizarre.
Yeah.
She's really bizarre. She's like, I wanted the answer to be like Pam, but I was like, yeah, but I wouldn't play Pam.
Yeah.
That's not who I would play.
That'd be so interesting to see what choices you would make as Mindy's character. What's her
Yeah.
name again?
Kelly.
Kelly Kapoor.
Yes. I don't know. I always think I think it's interesting to play like kind of bizarre, off the wall characters.
Yeah.
That are maybe kind of annoying, but hopefully also somewhat endearing.
Yeah. That could be fun.
Yeah.
Oh man, that'd be so interesting. They changed her character a little bit. If you watch first season, she's very reserved, and then the second,
Yeah.
and then they just really evolved her character to something completely different.
She got crazy.
She got crazy. One of my favorite lines of hers is, like, she's like talking about this great, what's his name? Oh no, Daryl. Yeah, she's talking about Daryl when she starts dating Daryl. Spoiler alert, I guess. No, it's not a spoiler alert. And then
It's been a long time.
Yeah. And then she goes, Daryl says exactly what's on his mind. I mean, what kind of game is that?
Yes! Okay, wait. Yes, it's been a long time, but somehow I just have actually gotten into The Office.
Yeah.
Like, I'd watched a few episodes, like, sprinkled here and there or whatever, but within the last few months, I've just been like, The Office. So I literally just watched that episode.
That's awesome.
Probably this week.
Yeah.
And that's in, like, season 4, I think.
Yeah.
But yes, I laughed really hard at that.
Ryan gets... There's a part of me, initially, it's two characters I would want to play. Michael or Ryan.
Yeah. Ooh, I can see both of those. Actually, Michael Scott was doing something the other day, and I don't remember what it was, but I could, like, see your face.
Oh, really?
Yes. I could.
That's the best compliment
he was great. I'm glad you appreciate it.
I do.
I think, like, he and Dwight were doing some sort of crazy, pranky type thing.
Yeah.
And I could just, like, see. I was like, Wesam.
That second episode when he fires Pam. Or it might have been the first episode. In the pilot,
Yes.
where it's like, Pam, you're fired. You're not here anymore.
I love that part. I love when he looks at Dwight sometimes, and he's just like, he just looks at him. Oh, I love that he hates Toby.
Yes, it's so good. Like, why does he hate Toby so much?
Because he's HR.
Right, and well.
He's corporate.
Yeah.
He's corporate.
Right.
I like, though, in terms of, like, creating a story and creating, like, a character that you're able to connect with is really important. And that's actually something while writing this pilot that I'm writing with Isaiah. It's like, oh, you really have to connect with these characters immediately. So how the first season of The Office, it's like they got to make Michael lovable or endearing or something, because first season he's just unbearable.
Yeah.
He's like, what's his name? Ricky Gervais, The Office, like that kind of like, I don't like anything about you. And then eventually, like second season, you start like, oh, this guy's a loser. Oh, he's kind of sad. And then you start rooting for him eventually. You're like, oh, and then you're so sad when he leaves.
Which I haven't even gotten there yet, but I do know that he leaves. I know that he leaves. I know. I'll watch faster. We see.
No, it's not. I just hate it when he leaves.
Oh my God.
And I get it, Steve Carell. You wanted to try new things with your career, but you ruined my life.
Whoa.
That's why I say shows shouldn't last more than 5 seasons.
Shut up, Michael.
Or 100.
So aggressive.
I am.
That's just how we talk to each other, or how he talks to me.
That's true.
I don't really talk back.
This is Michael. I love you. I get so sad when he says that. I was like, don't say that, man. I actually like you. And I don't really like a lot of people.
I'm being actively oppressed, but it's okay.
It's the people I like the most I'm mean to. That's the way it is with me.
That's true. I've seen that. Yeah.
I'm not really mean to you, though.
You're not mean to me. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I just say really offensive things to you in private, like about other people. And you know what? I'm not saying any of it on here. Otherwise, I'd never work.
Probably best.
Yeah. My gosh.
Yeah, you're not mean to me.
I just like saying things for shock value in between like my personal conversations with my friends. Just because I love the shock element of it. It's just fun to me. Like, remember what we were talking about yesterday? What was the evil thing I like to do? Oh, yeah.
I feel personally offended when I hear about the possibility of this, like that this runs through your mind. You need to tell people.
Okay, so
this is very rude.
It's not something I do, but there's a part of me that's like, do it. That's going to be so much fun.
Don't do it.
For yourself. And here's the part I know it's evil, because I'm not even there for the aftermath. It's like I've thrown a grenade and just walked away. So, I see, like, sometimes if I see a couple together, I want to walk up, tears running down my face, angry, and I just look at the girl. I'm like, I thought you were single, and just walk away, like, just go away, and just wait for them to like. And the guy's like, "What? Who was that?" She's like, "I don't know." He's like, "Well, he seemed pretty upset. Like, who the hell is that?" No guy would just randomly come up here, just if he didn't know you. Who is that? They get in a fight.
Who is that man?
Dude, I love that.
Terrible. Don't do
gosh.
that. You can't do that. You
I
can
know.
do that only in your mind.
So much fun. I mean, I told you this yesterday, but I like doing the thing where I wave to people, act like I know them, and drive away.
Yes.
That's perfect.
That's pretty fun.
Because then in their head,
they're like,
who is that?
What?
And I planted a seed.
I feel like I'd be thinking about that all day.
Good. Good.
Well, I can be on board with that one.
It is. There's a chaotic evil to me that, like, I have to, like, suppress a lot.
It's so bizarre. I always think it's so crazy, this thing about you, because it's true. Like, that lives inside of you. It just always has, and I think it always will. But then you're like one of the most kind and wonderful people I've ever met.
I think
at the same time.
I know.
And
It's
like
weird.
giving and that's balance.
It's balance, that's for sure.
Balance.
I just gotta keep that side in check. Oh man, sometimes like I would never do this on set, but my first guest spot, and I don't know why I was thinking about this, just again for shock value, just to get that like weird feeling, and just I like feeling that. What if I just went up to like the camera, like it's on the tripod, and just like pushed it over? Everyone's like, "Whoa, what are you doing, man?" I'm like, I'll be in my trailer.
It's like that.
Oh.
It's like that. Like, like 2-year-olds, how 2-year-olds are exploring the world and they just like want to see what'll happen.
Yes.
And so they do things like knock things down, or like when I was like 4, I have an older brother. He's 7 years older than I am. And
What?
we were, what? You don't know this? What?
I've never known this. We've known each other since high school. I never knew you had a
I have
sibling.
a brother. His name is Alex. He's 7 years older than I am.
Oh my
now
gosh.
you know. You'll meet him someday.
Is he toboggan? No.
Toboggan? Belizean? Oh my god. We've known each other
How long have you known each other?
It's an on-running joke.
since high school. And he can never remember where I'm from. Usually you're closer than that. Like, not geographically, but in terms of the letters that are in the country name.
There's some things that I'll need a paper in my pocket to keep in like Belizean.
Okay, sorry. Yep, Belizean.
Not Bolivian, not Ecuadorian,
Not Brazilian.
not Haitian.
No. Oh, Belizean.
Belizean.
Belizean,
Yeah.
yes. So, he is also Belizean. He is my brother.
Good, cool. What's up, Alex?
Yay!
Belizean Alex.
Belizean.
BA.
That's what he goes by. BA, Belizean Alex.
Sounds like I'm saying bulimic
Oh
Alex.
my god.
That's bulimic Alex. Okay.
No!
Okay. No, that's not what we're saying.
No.
This is live.
This
That's
is
not live.
something. But yeah, we're serious. Okay.
Okay, serious.
Oh, so serious. So I was 4, and we were in the back seat of the car.
Yeah.
My mom's like driving us home. I was a really sweet kid, like very good kid.
Mhm.
I don't know what happened. I was sitting there, and I looked over at my brother's leg, and I bit it as hard as I could. Like, I just bit it. He didn't do anything to me. I wasn't mad.
That's great.
I just bit it because, and he screamed like he was dying because, well,
Yeah.
we got home. It was winter, so he was wearing like layers, and there were these deep bite marks on his leg, and my mom was just sort of shocked because that was very out of character for me.
Yeah.
So she's just like, Rachel, what happened? Why did you do that? And I just was like crying. I'm like, I don't know. I just wanted to see what would happen.
Oh my gosh. That is so weird.
So it's in us.
It is.
Oh, somewhere.
I think it's important to be aware of it.
Yeah.
And that's the first step of controlling it.
Yeah.
Right, Michael?
Yep.
Oh man. No, and that's something super cool I appreciate about you, that you have this wonderful sense of awareness, and then you have this wonderful gift of sensing like energy too. And we did a Reiki session, and you are a Reiki practitioner, master, teacher, which one?
Practitioner.
Practitioner. And it was an incredible experience because I do believe in that stuff. At the same time, though, balance. I'm very skeptical in terms
Sure.
of, okay, I want to make sure this is not like just my fingers tingling because I'm putting a lot of oxygen in my body or something like that, where it's like it could be explained physically instead of like, you know what I mean?
Sure.
So, but the combination of emotional, spiritual, physical things that happened during our Reiki session, I was like, oh my gosh, this is absolutely incredible. And it's cool that you've developed this skill.
Yeah.
And when did you know that you had this?
Well, I got training in Reiki, like in just regular Reiki.
Right.
Why?
Just because?
I was reading about, okay, so I I read the book Eat, Pray, Love by Elizabeth Gilbert in like 2010. And she talks about, like, she goes to like these silent retreats and she's talking about yoga and she's talking about like some medicine man who can like feel her knee and know all these things about her. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't have the context to fully understand what it was I was reading, but I knew that something inside me was like, that, I need that. I need whatever goes, what is that? And so I then met somebody who was just sort of on this journey of studying like yoga and Reiki yoga and meditation. And like just sort of dabbling in the ideas of Qigong and things like that.
Yes.
And so I started reading a lot about those things and just started meditating for the first time in my life. And was my God, like the difference that it was making in my life and in my body and in my level of anxiety. I didn't know I was an anxious person, but I was. I didn't know until I started doing all the things, and then I started to become calm. So I was doing all that stuff and kept reading about it in books, just in passing. And every time it was like there was a pull. When I would read like Reiki, there was like this pull that I could feel from inside of me that was like, you need to know more. And I read a book about it, and I'm like, I need to do this. Like, I need to know how to do this. And within, I think, about 2 weeks of me inside of myself going, I need to know how to do this, my favorite bookstore in New York, where I lived at the time, opened a healing center, and literally the first training that they were offering was the first level of Reiki training. And so that's how I started doing that. It was incredible.
Do you think that whenever we start these like paths in our lives that are trying to lead us, or maybe we're leading ourselves, or some the great spirit of everything is leading us, do you think we begin to be more aware of the signs and that's why we start seeing signs? Or do you think that they've now starting to manifest themselves?
Oh, that's so interesting.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
For instance, let me clarify that for our listeners. Do you think that the signs have always been there, but since something happens where it's a little like flicker, like a little spark in your mind, and it begins to illuminate just like this little patch of grass in your head, and then you start feeding the fire more and it's illuminating more and more, then you start seeing the signs that have always been there to guide you on the path? Or do you think that they just, oh, cool, the flicker is on, let's start putting the signs for them to lead them now?
I think that the signs are always there. That's what I think. I think they've always been there.
Okay.
I think that, because I feel like we always have access. Like, we always have access to understanding the path that we're meant to be on and receiving guidance.
Right.
To follow that path, aka signs, right?
Right.
I think that it's up to us to get ourselves into a mode where we are able to receive and see those signs. I think that the more that we focus in on ourselves and our connection with our deepest selves, or with our spirituality, like whatever you want to call it, the more that we do that, the more open we become and the more we're able to see the signs that are always there. I feel like the universe is always going like, hey Rachel, this way would be good. Hey Rachel, this way would be good.
Right.
And if I'm not listening, I just won't hear it. But if I am, then I will.
Absolutely. That's it. I think I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think the signs are always there.
Yeah.
It's just until something sparks that in us. And sometimes it's a traumatic event, you know? I feel like
so often. It can so often be that.
You know what's really interesting I experience, and people have talked about this on other podcasts I've listened to. Whenever something really traumatic happens, you sense everything even more. Like, you really vividly experience everything if you're in the moment, if you don't turn to like some kind of thing to numb it, like alcohol or some type of drug. You just really experience, and then like stuff starts tasting 10 times more intense because you're like actually tasting things. You're like more aware, like, oh my God, my life has been flipped upside down. Is this really happening? Right? Yes, it is happening. So a great piece of advice, and it's so funny how like all like the mini traumatic events that have happened in my life have like strengthened me to handle the first major thing, then the second thing, and those things have strengthened me to handle other things. And there's this wonderful bit of advice that I read that said, stay present, be in the moment. Like if you're feeling sad, experience it. Question, why are you feeling sad? What, like, start questioning these things that you're feeling. And then, yeah, it just becomes the next time something similar to like that happens, you don't get so reactive from it. You're like, oh, I know what that is. I've experienced that. Okay, I know where that's coming from. I feel weirdly cold to it, but I just feel more adept at handling it.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like a cat, like a crazy cat. Have you ever tried to hold like a cat that doesn't want to be held?
No.
Okay.
But I have seen it. I understand the image.
They're like this big.
Yeah.
20 pounds? Not even 20 pounds, right? 20-pound cat? That's too heavy, right? 15 pounds?
15?
Yeah, 15.
Okay, 15-pound cat. Dude, it is strong, and it has claws, right? And you don't know, you're like scared to handle it.
Yeah.
But once you know like how to like actually grab a cat that's flailing and assert enough force where it realizes, oh, okay, I'm not strong enough, but you're not hurting it. Then you're like, okay, all right. Okay, now I'm in control. It's not so bad.
Right.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. Definitely.
Yeah. I don't know. Very interesting.
It is. I agree with all of that. I think it's amazing. And I think I really like that perspective because there is a version of, there's a version of living life where if something traumatic happens, you go, oh my God, why is this happening to me?
Right.
And you learn nothing.
Right.
And you just wallow. And then you go on carrying that weight with you. And then another thing happens and it's the same thing and there's never any growth.
Right.
And then there's a version of it where it's like, okay, wait, why is this happening? It's the same question. But if asked in a different way, can actually give you value. Like it's like, wait, why is this happening? What are the signs even in this experience of trauma? What are the lessons? What are the lessons? What am I here to learn even through this experience of trauma? How am I able to grow? How is this actually bringing me closer to my path and closer to wherever I want to be, right? Sometimes it's really difficult to do that in the midst of the trauma, but having an understanding that everything, I really truly believe that everything that happens in our lives is for a reason and there is order in the universe. And so everything that comes, even the things that feel traumatic or difficult or challenging, are there for a purpose and can help us grow. And they hold something very rich inside of them for us to learn and understand. And if in the moment of the challenge or the trauma, we can have the awareness that is so, even if we don't know what it is yet, even that can bring so much comfort. And if you can just start to open to the possibility that might be true during a traumatic or a challenging event, it's like you start to connect with a part of you that is larger than whatever the circumstance is that is currently occurring. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. And so it's like, gosh, if you can connect to that part, then it might still be hard, right? It might still be challenging and difficult, but it's really interesting how sometimes a sense of ease can be present within you even as you are facing the most difficult challenges.
Yeah.
And that often comes when you do connect to a part of you that is larger than the reality that we see.
Right. I'm getting better at dealing with people who are not adept at handling crazy situations. Because especially like if it's like a close friend or family member who's like, you know, like
Right.
because of something traumatic happening.
Yeah.
I'm really sensitive to that, so I'm like, dude, like I don't want to be around you. But then it's like breaking it down in my head. I'm like, wait a minute, this is their journey. I shouldn't let their energy affect me because it's their thing, you know. And I can help them if they want help, but I just got to be like, okay,
Yeah.
just be calm, because for me to be upset, it's just gonna fuel that, or annoyed is
Right.
gonna fuel that. So it's just kind of
Right.
thing like, all right. And then the thing is, I know they're not gonna be upset soon, so it's just like, okay, they're gonna get over this pretty soon.
Right.
So it's like it's not even a big deal anymore. But in the
Right.
moment, you're like, I used to be much more like, have it affect me. There's a great story that's kind of helped me deal with people like that, and it was, there's a monk. He's walking through the woods and just enjoying his walk, and then this guy comes up to him and starts cursing at him, screaming at him, and the monk just stands there smiling, and the guy gets even more frustrated. He's saying even more horrible things, screaming at him even louder, cursing at him, like hexing him, all this stuff, and the guy's just like smiling. And finally the guy gets so frustrated he just walks away. He just walks away in frustration. This other guy was watching this whole thing, goes up to the monk. He's like, "Are you okay? What? How do you?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm totally fine." He's like, "How did you, like, how could you not even flinch when that guy was saying all those horrible things at you?" And he's like, the monk said this to him. He goes, "If someone offers you a gift and you don't accept that gift, who does that gift belong to?" And I was like, "Oh, that is like mental, emotional jujitsu if I've ever heard of it."
Yeah.
That is, yeah, that's so true. If somebody's saying all this stuff to you, like, I mean, if they're not physically harming you, you're just like, oh, all right.
Right. I don't accept this.
Yeah, I'm not going to accept this weird things you're saying. You're going through your own journey, but yeah. Like, I know it sounds so simple, but it's as simple as it sounds to do that. You just have to let it go. Just,
That is so, I love that.
yeah. Especially
Yeah.
if somebody's like being rude to you in public, or somebody's driving and they're rude to you. It's the same thing. It's like,
Okay.
yeah.
I hope your day gets better.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
just walk away.
often what I feel when I see people like, acting nuts.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know why that's happening. I'm really sorry. Like, in my mind, I don't generally engage if they're not engaging with me, but it's just kind of like just sending this energy of, of like love, and whatever has driven you to this behavior could not have been pleasant.
Right. I also think it's whenever I meet people like that, they either have something intense going on in their life, best of luck to them, or they don't have any goals, and they don't have any dreams, or they don't have any, like, they don't, as soon as they hit something hard, they choose another path, like, and so it's like, you don't really have any drive, or not, I don't want to say drive, but like, there's no fulfillment going on in your life. So this is what you find to put energy in.
Yeah, totally. Because, gosh, living life without any sense of purpose is like self-destruction.
It's so boring too. It's like,
Yeah.
eventually it eats away at you. Even things that make you happy at the beginning will not continue to make you happy.
Yeah. If there's no sense of purpose.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Because we are here to fulfill a purpose.
Right.
It's different for all of us. It's not necessarily, what did I was watching, this is a side note, the Mr. Rogers documentary. Won't you be my neighbor?
Yeah.
And
Why is that rated R?
It is?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, I was like, what?
Classic Wesam.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Classic Wesam.
Oh dear. So I was watching that, and he says, you don't have to do anything. It's something like, you don't have to do anything sensational to be loved, right? So I totally agree with that, right? So not everyone's life's purpose is to be like Oprah necessarily.
Right.
But there is a purpose that is equally of value and can be equally fulfilling for that person.
Right.
And I think that a lot of people who are depressed, or who are just kind of suffering from, I don't even know, like just like a general feeling of chaos or angst.
Anxiety.
Or anxiety. Yeah, absolutely. A lot of times it's because they're not in touch with what that purpose for them actually is, or some part of them does feel that there's a purpose, and they're not paying attention. They're not nurturing that, and they're not taking steps towards it.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I reached a point in my life where if you need help with that, I'm willing to help, but I'm not willing to feed that for you in any kind of way or have that affect my time. And I kind of just let go of a lot of people, you know, like avoided some people as well. I think that's important too, to grow. And it's okay to grow out of certain relationships.
Yeah. It is. It happens because at some point you're just not at the same frequency.
Right.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, also, like, certain relationships, it's sometimes hard if you have family members that are kind of like that. So it's important to set up boundaries. And I feel comfortable talking about this because it's good now. But my youngest brother, I put him in, quote unquote, me and my brother did in quarantine.
Okay.
Not a physical quarantine, but a figurative one, and where I wasn't going to talk with him or answer his phone calls or his text messages until his attitude changed. Like, that was just it. I love him. If it's a drastic situation, I don't mind helping, but I'm not going to feed into your lifestyle or your life choices where you act a certain way or you say things in a certain way until you change. And it's not going to be like, oh, I changed. It's like, okay, I'm going to wait and see if you've changed. And that worked.
Yeah. It's really interesting. And I mean, listening to that, right? Some people might be like, what? You wouldn't talk to your brother? But what I just heard, I'm like, that's the most loving thing you could have possibly done for him at that time. That's what I feel. Yeah. And I feel like it's really interesting, you know, what we were talking about. Like, everybody's purpose is different, and kind of the way that everyone's function and the way that they do that is different. Right. And it's for you, that makes total sense. That's the most loving thing Wesam could have done for his brother. Right. That is not what I would have done, because that's not the most loving thing Rachael could have done. It's not how I work. But I know you are the person who, I've literally done this. I've been like, I know that there is something that I need to do in my life. Like, there's a shift that I need to make, and I'm not doing it. I want to do it, and I am actually ready to do it. I'm telling Wesam. I am telling Wesam, because if I tell Wesam, Wesam will quite literally not talk to me if I do not follow through.
Yeah, we have, like, that's what happened. Like, when was this? Oh gosh, this was a while ago, probably. Like,
with us?
Yeah. Whenever you came up to me and you were like, I feel like I need motivation or something like that. I was like, cool. Let's say if you don't do this within like 5 days, I won't talk to you anymore, and we're not friends, because if you're really looking for a life shift, then do this. And if you don't do it, then I don't know what else we can talk about anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, it was not too long after I moved to LA. Yeah. Probably about 1.5 years ago.
I think that's important too.
Yeah.
You need sometimes like that kind of kick in the butt, motivation, whatever you want to call it, is totally important, because if the stakes aren't there, there's really no purpose for you to, like, then if you don't make it, you're like, well, nothing happens.
Right.
Yeah. So it's important to put spikes underneath the hole that you might fall down in.
Ooh.
Yeah. Then it becomes a lot scarier. Yeah. Literally a hole, Michael. This is what I do with all my friends. If they want to be my friends, they have to cross a hole. It has a rickety bridge over it. There's spikes down there. There's tigers from Toboggan. Toboggan tigers. Toboggan tigers. That's not a real animal. Oh, man. You're working on something new right now, right?
Yes.
And you're going to this rehearsal for it.
Yes.
Soon. What is this? Actually, I don't know anything about it.
Oh, yeah.
Congrats, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a play. Nice. It's called, it's long, MCCORMICK, DURHAM, Volume 1, A Post-Racial America.
Okay.
So essentially, Volume 1, Post-Racial America.
Gotcha.
And it's a series of spoken word pieces and theatrical shorts that are exploring the notion of a post-racial America and kind of examining the Black experience in America today and kind of going back through history as well. It's
Interesting.
really interesting. Yeah. I'm enjoying it. We started rehearsing this week, and it's really powerful piece, and the team is awesome.
You're so talented.
Thank you.
I've known Rachel since high school, and one of our first plays we did together was West Side Story. Beautiful voice.
Thank you.
What's one of the songs you sang? I'm going to sing it.
Well, I Feel Pretty, which you sang at the beginning.
Yeah, there's another one,
There was
right?
Tonight.
I feel like I'm going to start singing the song from the Smashing Pumpkins if I sing Tonight. But that's not it. That's not it. That's not West Side Story.
That's not West Side Story.
America.
America.
How does that go?
I didn't sing that one.
How's that go?
That one is, I want to be in America.
I want to be in America. I want to be in America. Da 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 America.
Yes.
That's it?
That's it.
That's it.
That was it.
Fun story. I used to stab Pete Brennan
Oh.
way too hard during our fight scene in that. Pete Brennan, if you're listening, I'm going to make him listen to this
Yes,
podcast.
listen. Tag him.
oh.
Like you do.
Oh, yeah. I would go way too hard. Okay, a little behind the scenes stuff with West Side Story. I was a little rambunctious, as you remember, in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I got, like, I was Bernardo, so I was the leader of the Sharks. And we were,
You're my brother.
yeah, I was your brother. And very ethnic. Shark
Yes.
family tree.
Yes.
And then we'd be going against the Jets. They were the more American
Yes.
white gang.
Yes.
So I guess to get into character, or not really, just to have some fun, I would get my Sharks together and be like, hey, if we see a Jet by himself, let's get him. And we'd not like, sounds so horrible. We'd grab him, tackle him, fake shank him, and run away. And it became a thing where we tried to jump each other backstage. It was so much fun.
Oh, that's pretty great.
But the fight scenes, they got really aggressive.
They were intense.
Yeah. I mean, they looked great.
It did.
Because we might have been going a little too
it was
hard.
Real.
Yeah. The shank I give Pete, is supposed to go inside the handle.
Retract.
Yeah, retract. But I did it too hard still. You know what I mean? I'll be like, ah! Oh, is he?
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Oh, man.
That is so funny. I didn't know that was happening. You've told me that before.
Yeah.
Recently. I had no idea any of that was happening. I was in my own little world.
We try to get my friend Jordan Matlock in trouble all the time. I'd do something, have my mic on, and be like, this is Jordan Matlock.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's pretty great.
That's
pretty great.
haven't changed much.
Nope.
Still like doing that stuff.
Yep. It's good. It's fun.
It's fun. I can't do it on set. Oh man, if we go into a few seasons with this show, I'm gonna do a little bit more pranks. But man, it's so hard not to pull pranks. So hard.
I'm really proud of you.
Thank you. I've got an idea. Okay, I don't know if Jonte's gonna listen to this one.
Oh.
He might listen to this. I already said it on another podcast, but I'll tell you after the show what I'm gonna do.
Oh,
if me and
okay.
Jonte ever work together on a show,
Oh,
I've
God.
got the perfect prank.
Oh God.
It's gonna. Hey, tomorrow, he might die.
Oh.
Isaiah, you're gonna die. I know you're gonna laugh. Isaiah's gonna laugh the most. We're gonna keep a tally of who gets shocked the most. We'll bring a whiteboard in here or something. We got a whiteboard. It's Adobe Radio. So ready.
You guys, please stay
What?
alive. Are you going to be here, Michael?
I will be
Can
here.
you please monitor, just make sure they don't literally die? Maybe. I know all of these people. I
think,
like them.
I think I'm playing the game too.
You're
am I?
playing too. No, what?
No. Okay, good.
Okay, good.
I'll be the last one. to
No,
walk
we need
out.
somebody to run the board. Be alive. we need one. Well, you're drinking with us, but I don't. I mean, I don't want to hurt you, Michael. I like you.
Oh.
I mean, I do want to. I mean, I want to zap you at least once, so you know what it's like.
You can zap me once.
Did you see my video of me
I
zapping?
did. I did.
How, dude? It's It sounded like the biggest fly zapper ever.
It did.
It was like, Zap! I just spit everywhere on you.
Did you? Not on me. Didn't get on me.
Okay.
I would tell you.
I spit on you. I saw you.
Oh, okay. I didn't feel it.
We're good on time. We still have some time
yeah.
left. I know you have to leave here soon.
We
got you in through your busy schedule, through your rehearsals, and then your Reiki sessions.
Yes. Oh, boy.
That's what you do, right?
That is not what I do.
It's so disrespectful when I say that, and I
not
still
what
do
I
it
do.
every time.
He does.
I'm
It's
like,
true.
I'm a Reiki.
That's not
That's what a Reiki
happens.
session. That's exactly what you did to me. You burned sandalwood, or what was it?
No, there was Palo Santo.
Palo Santo. But I say it like that. And to show you my addictive, over-the-top nature, she brought this Palo Santo wood, and I smelled it. I was like, oh man, this smells like I'm on a Native American tribe in Tahlequah, where, like, in Oklahoma.
Yes,
I was like, I'm part of the Great Spirit. I'm running in
Yes.
the woods. I bought like 2 bags of it and some incense.
That smelled like Palo Santo.
Yeah, it was Palo Santo. Yeah, it was Palo Santo.
Yes.
Loved
Oh,
it.
My goodness.
She put it around my home. She's like, it's a cleansing
Yes.
smoke.
Yes, it is. It cleanses the energy.
Better than sage, right?
I like it better than sage. I can't say it is better than sage, like objectively.
Gotcha.
I just like it more
Yeah.
at this particular moment. That might change.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But I like the wood.
Yeah.
Smell was great.
Yeah.
It's a great session. I highly recommend people, if you're going through, I'm getting way too close to these mics, dude. I keep touching them with my lips, and I know other people use them, and no offense to the other people who use these mics at Adobe Radio, but I don't know you.
It's true.
I've seen some of you, and not a fan. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Just got real. I'm just kidding. Not kidding. But, if you're going through some kind of traumatic experience, or you feel like, here's what I can say, because this was my experience with my Reiki session with you, and I'm not just bringing you on because you're my friend or something like that. It's because it really worked for me. It really was a cleansing of sorts. It really clarified certain feelings and emotions I was having, and understanding problems and what I was control of and what I wasn't in control of and wasn't my responsibility. And then after that, it resolved. That's what was the beautiful part about it, that, okay, it resolved and I felt stronger because of it. If people want to get like who, this is such a weird question to ask for me. I don't know why it feels like a weird question. Who do you think is best suited for Reiki sessions?
Yes. So for what I do, for me, Reiki, I do Reiki, but Reiki is a tool in everything else that I do, right? So if you go to a general Reiki practitioner, it's going to be different than what I do.
Yeah.
So I work on an energetic level, which is that Reiki energy clearing, an energetic, emotional, and intellectual and physical level. Okay, so we kind of like are working to clear all of it at the same time. And the people who are most suited for me, I work a lot with people who are having emotional issues, like whether it's anxiety or depression, and whether that is, you know, a kind of circumstantial thing because of something that's happening, or if it's a chronic issue. I've worked with people with social anxiety. It really helps with those sorts of emotional issues and getting to the root of what is actually going on, what is actually causing that, and clearing that so that you can be free of it.
Right.
The other people I work with a lot are people who are going through, who are approaching or have just gone through some sort of transition. A lot of times it can be career related. It can be like a leveling up of sorts. Like if you're at a place where you are trying to get to that next tier. You've read all the books, you've taken the classes, you have the skill set, and for some reason it's just like, ugh, like it feels like something's blocking you.
Yeah.
Or if you have made that jump and you're there and now you're like, oh, because a lot of times that happens, and then for people, overwhelm sets in, or that idea of imposter syndrome that's like, wait, I got here, but how did I get here? I don't belong here. They're gonna all find out. And then you're where you want to be, but you're not actually enjoying the experience and feeling the feelings that you hoped to experience when you got there. So those are some of the people. And just if you're in a cycle where you feel in some way stuck for any reason and you can't figure your way out, whether it's career, whether it's love, you cannot find a relationship that is fulfilling. You find yourself like you keep dating the same person, like that kind of thing. I help people to break cycles. I help people to unblock and unlock their hidden potential and actually live their potential.
Yes. The suffering cycle. They talk about it a lot in Buddhism books, like the cycle of suffering that you choose to break it. There's certain things that happen that you can choose to break it, choose to, move on from it, or you're just going to keep experiencing it until you move on.
Yeah, absolutely. And it involves that, like breaking that involves a shift that requires all of you to shift.
Oh, yeah. It's tough, to say the least. It's uncomfortable, and to make it into a new habit, whatever new lifestyle choice, takes time.
It does.
That's why I like these intense people who are like Jocko Willink or Cameron Haynes, or who are all about who do a lot of the same kind of discipline activities, like physical discipline activities, because I feel like that's a big win for me. If I can get out of bed in the morning and go do something physical right in the morning, awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Sets up your day.
Yeah. It takes time to create that new neurological pathway where it becomes okay, what is it, something like 21 days they say? I say give it a month.
Create a habit?
Yeah, I say give it a month of solid cold turkey, starting, doing something different. And I feel like after that month, it's okay, I made it a month. That's a pretty big time.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah.
I know when last year there was a period of time where I did not run the mountain.
That's right.
I would hike the mountain.
You would hike the mountain.
I would hike the mountain. And I knew it was something I wanted to make a part of my life. And I knew, for me, it wasn't that I necessarily needed to do it every day forever, but I knew that the best way to make it a part of my life was to commit to doing it every day for a period of time.
Yes. And
it really worked. And it was sort of it had to be non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. I am doing this every day. I know I did at least a week every day, but I think I ended up doing 2 weeks every day and then kept going, on a regular basis, but not daily. But it was no matter what. There were days that physically my body was rebelling. And I was well, you better figure it out, body, because we're going to the mountain at 6 a.m. And it works.
1,000% yes. There is, when you said there, you said something
non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable. So Jocko's book, Discipline Equals Freedom, not Extreme Ownership, but Discipline Equals Freedom, is a great read. However, it's on the...
Not feeling it.
Is this it?
How do I handle those days when I'm just not feeling it?
Is this it? Hold on.
Bet you need some time off, and those sprint the hill, work on the project. You need a rest,
Nope.
or you need to take a break. Staying motivated.
Wait, hold on. This might be it.
Don't worry about motivation.
We have to kind of talk over it, right? A little bit.
Comes and goes.
Yeah, you have to talk over it.
It is unreliable, and when you're counting on motivation to get
Yeah,
your
I'm gonna
goals
see if I
accomplished, though, make yourself do it.
Yeah.
You do that with discipline. Everyone wants some magic pill, some life hack that eliminates the need to do the work, but that does
coming
not
up here in a
exist. No. You have to do the work.
I think it's right here where he starts
You've
talking
got
about...
to hold the line. You've got to make it happen.
Yeah.
This might not be it.
So...
Anyway, he basically, in one of these, it's called Discipline Equals Freedom, he goes, weakness does not get a vote. That little voice in your head that says, hey, tomorrow we'll do it. that doesn't get a vote. Oh, it's mind control. I think that's what it is. Hold on. He's like, you should declare martial law on your mind. I'm like, Jesus. Whoa, I like that.
There you go.
This might be it.
Negativity doesn't get a vote. Your temper doesn't get a vote.
Hold on.
So
I got it.
time you are feeling
Here we go. This is so...
weakness doesn't get a vote. Laziness doesn't get a vote. Sadness doesn't get a vote. Frustration doesn't get a vote.
Yes.
Negativity doesn't get a vote. Your temper doesn't get a vote. So next time you are feeling weak or lazy or soft or emotional, tell those feelings they don't get a vote.
Oh.
You are declaring martial law on your mind. Mind control.
Okay.
So interesting.
When it's like 4 a.m. and I hear that, I'm like, I'm gonna destroy that mountain. I'm gonna carry a torch this time instead of my flashlight. Actually, that would be so dangerous, especially in our dry season. Can you imagine?
Fire.
I'm like, this is a mistake.
Whoa.
This is a
Local man starts wildfire.
and he's running through it. But you know what I mean? I love
absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
I think there's great strength in everybody. I really wish I could, like, one of my goals is to do these, like, motivational stuff. When I say stuff, that's a horrible name for it. But, like, this podcast, for instance. I think there's great strength in everybody, and everybody has that weakness feeling, and that weakness feeling takes control, and it starts making them lazy, undisciplined, uncoordinated. It makes them unmotivated. It makes them not do the things that they're meant to do. So that's why I like hearing that. It's like, okay, all that stuff doesn't get a vote because you're in control. And a lot of people feel like they're not in control. I think 99.99% of people are in control if they do that. I really do believe that. And I know there are exceptions. People with imbalances, they have to take medication for whatever reason. That's fine. But I believe there's room for growth. I believe that you can change. I believe that you can dig down deep inside of you and change into the person you want to be, into a better person. And that doesn't mean, again, you're not going to be like Oprah or somebody else, or like Jocko or like me or somebody else. No, you're going to be the best version of you, and that's what's important.
Oh, yes. Woo! I love that. Absolutely. 100% agree with that. And there is the idea that there is strength in everybody.
Yes.
Is so true. There is strength in everybody, and everyone's strength is different. I think that sometimes the problem is people are looking for their strength in other people, or they're trying to have other people's strength or strengths.
Yes.
Or show their strength in the way another person does, when it is so very different for each person. And it's about understanding what is your strength, what is your superpower, because I seriously believe we all have like a superpower.
Yes.
100%. So it's about finding what that is for you and harnessing that and living your life from that place. And it's really interesting, like even talking about like discipline, right? Like your relationship with discipline and my relationship with discipline are different, but it leads to the same result. Because it's like how I view discipline is, it's like a version of self-love in a way, I think. Because if I love myself, I want the best for myself. The way to create the best for myself is to have practices in my life that are habitual, that are consistent, and that are in alignment with the person that it is that I want to be in the world. And so I have to have that discipline. But for me, it works to look at discipline from the lens of self-love for whatever reason. But it's the same thing.
This is what it's about, though. Like,
right.
Whenever you do take care of yourself, you do stop letting negativity and all this negativity, weakness take a vote in your brain, and then decide you're not gonna do something. That's because you're trying to strengthen yourself. That's self-love. And in turn, you're able to help other people. Once you take care of yourself, then you can help other people.
Totally.
It sounds selfish, but it's not.
It's not.
You know what they teach people, a certain way of saving someone when they're drowning is to put, if they're flailing, is the lifeguard would put their foot out in the water. Be like, hey, calm down. You know what I mean? To get, because if they start flailing them, you have
Right.
two people drowning.
Right.
That's not going to help
Anyone.
anybody.
Yes.
So it's kind of like that. And that's what,
Yes.
sometimes you got to put your foot out with people who are flailing around you, who are not helping you. And maybe they need help themselves, but you got to keep that distance so you don't harm yourself.
Yes. Totally.
Self-love in turn turns to love of everyone and everything else.
Yes. Yes, it really does. And I think that the misconception about self-love is that it's selfish, and it's not. It's actually the best thing you can do for every single person around you. Because with that idea that we all have our strengths and we all have our own superpower, the only way for us to live in alignment with that is to practice self-love, because that's how we give ourselves the fuel to actually show up in that way.
Right.
Right? Like we each have a function, right? So if like a toaster has a function, but if you put bread in the toaster to toast and the toaster isn't plugged in, it's not going to do anything if it's not connected to the source of its power.
Right.
Right? So if we're like the toaster, we have a very specific function. We can't do that if we're not connected to the source of our power. And the source of our power we connect to by showing ourselves love, by giving ourselves what we need, by listening to the voice inside of us that might not be in agreement with the voices outside of us, even from people that we highly respect might be telling us to do something, and there might be a voice in us that is like, no, that is not for you. And it's a practice to understand that that voice inside of us is real and is important and has to be heard.
100%
Yeah.
agree with you.
Yeah.
That in turn, for me, translates to my work. Talking to my cousin yesterday, I got kind of heated up in the car out of nowhere, and heated up in terms of like pumped up.
Yeah.
And I was talking to him about like this other person who I was like, I like him. We worked together on projects before, but if this person came to me and, hey, I want to work on this project right now, can you work with me? I'd be like, I can't. I can't work with you on this. I know the way you work, and I can't afford to work with you anymore. I won't get into the details of it.
Yeah.
But in turn, the conversation went into, I want to continue to work on top tier things with my craft. So any future projects I work on, I want it to be top tier. Not necessarily like, oh, it has to be a Steven Spielberg movie or a Quentin Tarantino. No, but the quality of work will be like that, no matter what it is. I don't want to work on stuff that's mediocre. I don't want to give mediocre performances anymore. This has been a mentality for a while, but I want to continue to keep delivering that top tier things. I talked to somebody who, I think it was Katie actually from Brett Davern show, and I was like, if I was working with if Quentin Tarantino hired me for something, I wouldn't be nervous. I'd be excited to, oh, awesome. Let me show you what I got, bro.
Yeah.
Working with Tom Hardy. Dude, can't wait to work with you. Because I'm going to bring it.
Yeah.
And where that confidence comes from is the discipline and practice every Sunday.
Yes.
Throughout the week. What am I doing to improve? Yes, booking the work I've worked on has helped. But without the practice, without the grind, without the sacrifice, without the confidence, like, no matter what, this is my path. And I'm not talking just about acting. This goes to anything.
Yeah.
It could be you're a scientist, a journalist, whatever that is, a doctor. That grind, that sacrifice, make sure it's there. Do top tier work. Why mediocre? This life you're living, I believe in reincarnation, but each life is very important because there are certain, you'll never live these circumstances again. So make the best of it. Time is ticking. Oh my God, I'm 30 years old. We were just in high school.
We
Rachel.
were just in high school. I know. I don't know what happened.
I don't know either. I was just taking my ACTs and barely making it through. Man,
Ooh.
I
Yeah.
hope this pumps you up for it. Oh, we're going to stop it at 11:11.
11. Magic, make a wish.
Umanasa kamanala pasalala pala. Reiki Tabakan Tiger. No, okay. Rachel, thanks so much for coming on the show. Michael, this one's for you, this clap, and you only know why this clap is happening. That's right. Another one done with Michael. He's a Chicago Cubs fan, right? Oh, yeah. I don't know why I blanked out there for a second. I was like, oh, shit. Is it Cubs? Yeah, it's the Cubs. You can tell I watch a lot of baseball. Thanks for listening, guys. We really appreciate it. Big thanks to Adobe Radio. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Wesam.
Steph Jula, the Mike Rula, the old school, the person who handles all our social media stuff is really cool. That was all right. That was not... Steph, you're more than all right. You're pretty cool. Thanks for everything that you do, Steph. Really appreciate. Social media is kicking off hot, man. Dude, Michael, you are so on top of things. Always.
Try.
You try well. You do well. I'm really excited for guys' night tomorrow, man. It's gonna be so good.
Woo.
So much drugs. No, I'm kidding. We're not doing drugs. We're not doing drugs. Hey, guys, thanks for listening. Be sure to leave us a review on iTunes podcasts and follow us on Twitter. And if you follow us, screenshot it, or you leave a review, screenshot it, tag me and Michael, and we'll definitely respond in the podcast. It's WeSams_world. I'm at Wesam Quiche. Michael, where are you at?
I don't actually know.
He doesn't know. What's your last? Michael
Perenio.
Perenio, that's it. Why do I want to say it differently every time? Michael Perenio.
Well, that's technically how you say it.
I knew it. Guys, I love you. We out.